Welcome to the Field of 68 After Dark's YouTube channel. We are going to be live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube and on Stadium for the entirety of the spring. Give me your breakout player because I think that there are so many options for who you could pick for this list. I'm curious who give me the number one guy on this list for you.
Really hard. I have three written down. I'll pick one of the three. But the three written down I have are Xavier Booker, Cam Heide, and Aaron Bradshaw. And I'm gonna go with Aaron Bradshaw. I am. I'm gonna go. I don't know how good I feel about it, but I feel like, man, if it clicks, holy shit. Because we've seen him before and what he can do. Shooting threes, the way he can move, the way he can block shots, get up and down the floor, be a lob threat. He's skilled too. Like, if the light goes on and stays on, watch out. So I think Bradshaw would be number one for me, but he's an X factor too. Like, he's an X factor and a breakout player for me all at the same time. I also love Cam Heide. I think Cam Heide's going to have a huge, he'll break out this year.
Yeah, I think you have like five different guys that you could list on Purdue that could end up being like Trey Kaufman-Renn without Zach Edey in front of him could end up being like a 15-9 guy. So I think that you got to put him in that conversation as well. Miles Colvin will be really good. I had Jeremy Fears and Xavier Booker were like 1A and 1B for me. I think that if Michigan State is going to be really good, those two guys are going to be really, really good. And I also had Aaron Bradshaw written down. One guy you didn't mention, Kwame Evans at Oregon. I think that Oregon's going to have a couple of really good guards that will step in there. I think Jackson Shellstead, I don't know if I would qualify him as a breakout guy. I feel like he broke out at the end of last season, but he could step into a bigger role with, I'm blanking on his name, the kid that had like the back-to-back 30-point games in the NCAA tournament last year for Oregon. But Kwame Evans as a sophomore big guy, he had a couple of 20-point, 10-rebound games last year. Without having N'Faly Dante there is going to be asked to play a much bigger role. And I got one more for you too. And I think if Indiana is going to live up to the potential of being a top 10 team, Mackenzie Mbako needs to be a first team all Big Ten caliber guy. Doesn't have to be listed on that first team, but he's got to be good enough to be in that conversation. And if he is, it probably means in my mind that he was slid down to the 4 spot, that he's able to go up against other power forwards, against other bigs, that he's taken advantage of his shooting ability and the mismatches that created at the 4, that he gets essentially put into an Alex Caravan role. And if he does that, I think he has a chance to be like a 15 or 16 point per game scorer for Indiana this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mbako is certainly a guy that could break out and has all the natural ability to be able to break out. All right, last thing, breakout team. I'm going to go with the Oregon Ducks. In Dana Altman, I trust. He brings back one of the best guards, I think, in America this year, Jackson Shellstead. He's got some veterans that have been with him for a while in the Bartholomew kid and Nate Biddle, and then a couple of freshmen that came back that were highly regarded, right? I mean, Kwame Evans and Mookie Cook. So TJ Bamba brings in as a transfer. So I don't know. I just feel like people have kind of given up a little bit of Dan Altman. And this past offseason, if you remember, a lot of people, he had to answer the questions about him like retiring or being forced to retire. I think this is going to motivate him even more.
I love the Oregon one. I had Rutgers written down as one of the 3 on my list. You kind of sniped them earlier. So I'm going to go with Maryland. I think this is the year that Kevin Willard gets them back to being a top 25 team, gets them back into the NCAA tournament. And I think that there is some sleeper potential there for the Maryland Terrapins to end up being a team that wins the Big Ten. I think that if you can find, jump on when BetMGM posts those odds, if you can find a nice, tasty future on Maryland to win the Big Ten, that is something that is worth taking a look at. Thanks for watching the Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure to hit that like button.